What's up? This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles live, worldwide, nationwide. I can't get no satisfaction. We are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, The Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records, and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and The Organic Grill. What's going on around the world? Who's out there? Who's out there? Who wants some of this? Who wants some of this? Italy, represent. All right. Upstate Rick, what's happening? Car bomb parade. That's what I'm talking about. Hi, Gina. Hope you're well. Mark up in Canada, what do you say? Cheers from Sweden. All right. Andreas, how you doing? Hi, Mike in Paris. What's going on in my Parisian friend? Paris, man. Not sure, not sure how I feel about Paris, It's kind of a crazy place when I was there, Kind of a mess. But, what's up in the UK, Stu? How do you do? Yo, Rich Zola gracing us with his presence. The incredible photographer, Rich Zola. Chris Hoffman, yes, greetings from Facebook jail in sunny Arizona. Yeah. Okay, this just in. Lenny from Crazy Eddie says, Kevin Smith from his band Crazy Eddie is doing much better. Thank you very much for the positive vibes. Yes, our friend Kevin from Crazy Eddie had a health issue. What's up in Boston? What's up in Indiana? What's up in Norway? What's up? What's up? We got a great show today. Super excited about it. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles. We are sponsored by Your Core Hardcore fan page. In the wake of the pandemic, Your Core Chris created Your Core fan page, utilizing lessons learned from over 20 years of being an educator and social worker. He decided to try and reach where hardcore punk and the surrounding genre of bands create not only their music, but their message. The interviews are from a psychological perspective to harvest motivation. Personal insight and perspective, please reach out to them on Facebook or Instagram if you have any content to share or you want to promote your band, Your Core Hardcore fan page. That said, I want to mention a couple of upcoming shows. Here you go. Coming up this Wednesday, the artiste, legendary artiste, Sean Taggart. You know him from his work with Agnostic Front, Crumbsuckers, Jerky Boys, Cro-Mags, Whiplash, Prong. A week from today, our old friend Igor Cavalera. If you don't know who that is, you're watching the wrong show. Wednesday, January 27th, the lovely Mina Caputo is going to be on the show. That should be interesting. And then, of course, Sunday, January 31st, Philadelphia represent, McRad, Bad Brains, Underdog, Chuck Treese. So got a lot of great shows coming up. Appreciate everybody supporting. Yeah, man. He's a great artist, Rich. Absolutely. What's up, Mosh? What's happening in Berlin, bro? There you go. Ask him about his Bills beating the Ravens. Why, you going somewhere, Brendan? Are you just stopping by to drop that on your way? You could certainly ask that question yourself when the time comes, my friend. Yes. Terror Hardcore. Yep. What's up, Larry Kelly? That said, you know what's going on, what's coming up. What did I see? Oh, you know who I want to, where is, hold on, I got to do something. This is important. I want to dedicate this show to somebody who just passed away. Hold on. Oh, if you hold on. You guys remember Wilson Phillips? Hey, I want to dedicate this show to Mr. Jerry Brandt. Jerry Brandt just passed away, and he was a incredible character. He owned and ran a bunch of clubs in New York City. In the 60s, he had the Electric Circus, and he's one that opened up the Ritz. A lot of us that grew up in New York remember the shows he put on the Ritz. This guy was involved in a lot of stuff. He was in my film, Who the Fuck Is That Guy? The Fabulous Journey of Michael Alago. He's the guy that got Michael Alago his start in the music business when Alago wandered in off the street when he was delivering for the pharmacy, and Jerry Brandt saw that sparkle in his eye and gave him a job. So rest in peace, Jerry Brandt. You really left a mark, especially in the nightlife in New York City. So I am dedicating my part of this show to Mr. Jerry Brandt. That said, what's going on with the hardcore shutterbug, Steven Messina? What do you say?
What's up?
What's up?
Good afternoon to everybody around the world.
Hello, Ball.
Hello, Ball. Address the ball.
Address the ball. Hello, Ball.
Yeah, that's really a sad thing. I mean, he was the Ritz. I could think of so many amazing shows from the Ritz, and and Webster Hall, obviously, which sprung from the Ritz, but tremendous. Not to mention Sil Sylvain from the New York Dolls this week.
That's right.
Another one. And now today, the creator of the Wall of Sound, Phil Spector, also a murderer.
It's sort of weird to shout out Phil Spector.
Yeah.
Wait. Before we get off Jerry Brandt, here's a nice photo of Jerry and Alago that I
that is a nice shot
while we were making the film. So this guy really put Alago, on his way. So yeah. The Phil Spector thing is a little weird. It's being that he senselessly murdered someone.
Yeah.
I mean, it's absolutely senseless. So it's hard, it gets a little weird. Like, he's such a great guy. I mean, not really.
Well, there were stories of him pulling guns on artists over the years. Like,
yeah.
And I know even when he dealt with the Ramones and, John Lennon, they had all kinds of horror stories about him.
Yeah. Yeah. He was waving guns around for a while, man.
Yeah. But Sil Sylvain was a big one,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that was a big one.
I mean, I was thinking about that, the New York Dolls thing, the Sil Sylvain thing, that I think the only New York doll that is still around is David Johansen.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. They're all gone. It's amazing. I mean, they, considering that the lives they led, a few of them lived a very long time,
Yeah.
But I never got to see them in their heyday. Obviously, I was much younger, but I did get to see them when they reunited right before Arthur Killer Kane died. So I got to see 4 of the 5.
Oh, that's cool.
So that was really cool.
Right.
And in fact, way earlier in our show, we used some of the shots as a photo of the day, like probably 50 episodes ago. So... But,
all right, let's do
picture of the day. Yeah.
Picture of the day. Wrong answers only, please. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Photo of the day. Boom. All right. What's going on here? Let's hear it.
It's definitely not me and you.
Yeah, right? Let's see. Wrong answers only, please. Let's see. Come on. What do we got here? I think they're dumbfounded. Okay. Fernando Faith says, "Yo, Scott Vogel will be here today." Is that a question mark, bro?
Shit.
I can't wait to ask him if he remembers me from Argentina. He held my hand tight as he screamed in my face. Very, very romantic, Fernando. He held my hand tight in the wee hours of the night, and everything was all right. Hey, all right, here we go. Is this Wilson Phillips? If you hold on. Oh, God. Is it ZZ Top? This one's good. Whoa. Is it Devo's reunion show? This is a good one. I like this one. Is it Hanson? Is it Cousin It? Is it Dave Grohl? Is it SSD Control? Is it the Foreskins?
Huh.
Is it Mick Mars?
Oh, Jesus.
Whoever
can't
it is, they're playing the guitar strung low.
Well, you don't want your hair getting caught in it, for God's sake.
Is it the Bee Gees? Is it the Partridge Family?
Now we're digging.
Now we're digging.
Come on, get happy.
Is it some sort of hair band? Some sort. Is it Fleetwood Mac? Is it the Peter Green Fleetwood Mac, or is it the Lindsey Buckingham?
I'll
Stevie
take
Nicks
Peter
Fleetwood Mac?
Green all day long, man.
There you go. Is it the little girl from Hanson all grown up? Is there girls in Hanson? I thought Hanson were like three brothers.
They are three brothers.
Okay. There you go.
Maybe it's a girl in the video or something.
Is it Antidote when they went hard rock? You know what? Funny you should say that. Hold on.
Uh-oh.
Hold on. Funny, where is that? Hold on. It isn't, but that's pretty funny. I feel like I'm moving in slow motion today.
Moving in stereo.
There you go. There's Antidote. Here. You asked for it, you got it. Antidote. You're only going to get it for a couple seconds. Antidote, the rock years.
Oh.
With me in the middle. There you go. All right. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. That said, let me get back. Okay. Let's do another photo you sent me.
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe they'll get this one.
Okay. Okay. What's that in his head? Are those dreadlocks? Can't even see what that is.
Well, the mic cord is like in a circle around his
I see.
around his mouth there. Yeah.
Is it El Nino?
That's a close guess, but
right. Okay. Time for right answers.
All
ready?
right, someone's got it.
Is it obituary?
Yes,
Is it obituary?
yes.
Is it obituary? Is it obituary?
All right.
Is it? Wait, hold on. I saw another good one. Is it the Black Crows? All right, good.
Well,
Go ahead.
yes. It is in fact obituary.
Is that John and Trevor from Obituary?
This was actually, I was so psyched for this show when they announced this show because it was April 19th, 2019, the PlayStation Theater, and Hatebreed was the headliner.
Mm-hmm.
And the lineup was Hatebreed, Obituary, the Cro-Mags, Terror, and Fit for an Autopsy. And what I love about what Hatebreed puts on a show, because they walk that line between hardcore and extreme metal, that they're not afraid to dip into both, So the fact that you had Fit for an Autopsy, which is like a death metal band, you had Terror and the Cro-Mags, you had Obituary, it was just a fantastic show. And in fact, the second leg of this tour, I know Agnostic Front jumped on, and so did Madball.
You said I have that flyer somewhere, don't I?
Yeah, that was I think you were at that show, weren't you?
Yeah, I was there.
Oh yeah, that was a fun one. In fact, Rich Zoller was right there in the pit, in the photo pit with me. The Rich Zoller, and so was Danielle Dombrowski. We had,
I gotta find
some
that
of the
flyer. Hold on.
Some of the best people you're gonna meet in there. And
it was like a photographer orgy.
It will. Oh, you know what? When you got to step your game up when you got Rich Zoller and Danielle next to you, so they don't mess around. And just awesome. Just anytime like a show like that, when you have so many good bands, that's the kind of stuff I miss so bad right now. And you could go to a show and there's 6 bands and all 6 bands are delivering the goods.
There it is.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Yeah.
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 Wow,
Yeah,
tour dates.
that was great. Cro-Mags were good too. They had what's his name playing drums. Mackie
That's
was
right.
playing drums.
That's right.
It
And
was
Mikey Dijon there too.
it was Mike Dijon and what's his name? Darren? Darren was playing drums.
Yeah, I didn't. In fact, that night I remember going, "That's not Mackie." Like I didn't know they had someone sitting in that night, and he was awesome.
Yeah. That was a good. What's the bottom band? Oh, Fit for an Autopsy.
Yeah, Long Island
Yeah.
guys.
Long Island guys.
Long Island.
Long Island.
Yeah, no, I like those Fit for an Autopsy guys. They're really good.
Yeah, man.
There's always room for death metal. There's always room for a little bit of Norwegian black metal. I mean, when you clean the house, you need stuff like that.
I remember I saw Obituary early on, like, I don't know, early on and then early 90s or whatever, whenever it was.
Yeah, they've been
And
around
I must say, like, it wasn't really my bag, but they were good.
Well, there's bands like that, just like hardcore, there's a reason bands last as long as they do. And they're one of those bands,
And you know what? What got my attention is they were on Roadrunner. And like
Yes.
Biohazard and all those bands were on Roadrunner. And like somehow I got the CD. What was that? World Demise. And it was friggin' great.
Yeah. I love those guys. I mean, I think it just, and you wonder all these bands that are out there, like hopefully they've spent the year, we're going to see them again. Hopefully they're all surviving this,
What T-shirt you wearing?
Today?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm outside of the punk rock genre today, so
someone was asking about it,
Yeah. These are my people. And your people. You played with Mike at the Generation show.
Yeah, for sure. Mike's cool.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. All right, brother. We'll catch up to you towards the end of this thing.
Yeah, absolutely. This is going to be a fun one today. Honestly, looking forward to this one for a while. Scott is one of my favorite voices in hardcore, so this is going to be really awesome.
Absolutely. All right, I'll talk to you in a bit.
You got it.
There you go. This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and the Texas Silver Rush. The Texas Silver Rush is a jewelry design firm and boutique store located in the birthplace of the Texas country music scene in Fredericksburg, Texas. They specialize in working with musicians in all music genres to design and create unique one-off pieces, as well as to style them for stage, album covers, promo photos, and social media exposure. Their client list includes Rock and Roll Hall of Famers Greg Rowley, Ringo Starr, and of course, the mighty Agnostic Front. During this current pandemic, all information and online sales are being taken at their Facebook and Instagram pages, and of course, www.thetexassilverrush.com. Also, while we're at it, want to bring up Vlad and Organic Grill. Organic Grill is a vegan restaurant located in the East Village of New York City at 123 First Avenue, featured in New York Magazine, the New York Times, and Veg News. Their dishes have won numerous awards, including Best Veggie Burger. They make their own cheeses, sausages, and burger patties, and every dish on the menu can be made gluten-free. This year, they're celebrating the 20th anniversary, and they're all about having a great time while enjoying amazing, clean food. After 3 months of being closed, they're now open for deliveries. Get in touch with them and order some great food at www.theorganicgrill.com. That said, let's go. That said, I want to mention a buskie. A buskie. All right, hold on. I see today's guest has disappeared. Never a good sign. Hey, buskie, text Scott, will you? All right, good. Find out what the drama is. I can only carry this thing for so long. What else? Oh, you know what I did the other day? Oh, I gotta. For those that were asking, where is? Hold on. Couple people were asking about what we were doing down here, shooting our new film. And yes, it went very well. It was great to be back, shooting again after all this nonsense. There I am on camera. There is Arnie Stone overseeing, and it was great. And you will see this film. It's just going to take a little while, but it's absolutely getting there. We were down here on a film stage in Florida. I'm heading back up to New York tomorrow. So there is that. Also, I want to remind everybody that there is a Patreon page to support this show. You can support this show. I know you're wondering, I love this show. I watch this show. I don't want to be a taker my whole life. I want to give. I want to support. Well, this is how you can do it. There's the Patreon page. There's different tiers on Patreon, $5, $10, $25, and different things going on. I release all kinds of never before seen videos and footage. We do private shows. So don't be a Patreon. Join Patreon. It's all right there. There's also a PayPal address if you want to make a one-time. Who's Arnie's favorite Yankee? I don't know. I got to ask him that. So there's that. I want to shout out a couple of my new patrons. Big Bry, Michael Hobson, Ori Frank representing Tel Aviv, Kano X Chicago, Philip Herman, Stam Fontalakis, Johnny B, Chris Hartnett, Olvis Machir, Meredith Bain, Hedrick Feller, David Funk, get the funk out of my face, Joseph Shortino, Gina B, Davor Gajovic, and Craig Wicker. Thank you all for supporting this show. Your support is what makes this show happen. Don't be fooled by cheap imitations. Your support is what makes this show happen, and I mean that. And listen, I also want to say, y'all can reach out to me anytime. That's kind of what the show's about. I love to hear from you, no matter where you are in the world, no matter what time. I'm the guy at this point that is so screwed up by this thing that I wake up about 3 times in the middle of the night and look at my phone just to deal with social media. So that's kind of what it's come to. I wake up like 3 or 4 times in the middle of the night, look at my phone, and spend about a half hour on social media, then go back to sleep. Yeah, it's bad. Joe Amato says, I'm having back surgery tomorrow. Tomato. Drew, I'm having back surgery tomorrow, but I promise to hook you up via PayPal in February. Don't sweat it, Joe. Get your health together, man. David Funk, there he is. There he is. David Funk, Yankee fan. Get the funk out of my face. Awesome. Yep, that is awesome. Brendan, Mr. Stone, I think you do a fantastic job. Thank you very much for everything that you do. Hey, there you go. All right. That said, I think we're covered. Ready to bring our guest on. Let me clear the deck. What the heck? Let's clear the deck. Let's have some fun. Listen, I know some people have questions. Wait until it's time to ask questions, please, or else we're going to forget about it. Wait till it is the designated time to ask the questions. All right? Shut up, you freak! So, that said, let's see. All right, here we go. Today's guest is an American singer-songwriter hailing from Buffalo, New York. He's known for his work with the bands Buried Alive, Slugfest, Despair, Cinderblock, Fade Away, and World Be Free. He is a founding member and is best known for his work with the band Terror. Please welcome, coming at us from Buffalo, New York, upstate New York represent, Mr. Scott Vogel. Hey!
What's up, what's up, what's up, what's up?
What's up, buddy? How are you?
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. How's things? So you know what? Let's just get this out of the way. How your Bills doing up there, bro?
It's stressful though, man.
It's exciting though, right? I mean, you first time in a long time, the Bills are leaving a mark in the playoffs, man.
Let's not jinx it. It's very, very week by week, hoping for the best, but in the back of your mind, you think it will fall apart at any moment. But they look so good, so
yeah,
so far so good.
Yeah,
I know right now just started the Cleveland Kansas City game, who they'll play next. So I'll catch the end of that when we're done here in Well, of course I want Cleveland to win because I like the city of Cleveland. It's closer, and more importantly, they're a much worse team and would be easier for the Bills to win. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, it's really exciting. And I moved back to Buffalo only a few months ago, 2 months ago.
Mhm.
So, I lived here for 29 years and then moved back to out west and just moved back. So it's a quick reminder of how passionate the people here are about the Bills. It's everywhere. It's all that's on everyone's mind.
They still play at Rich Stadium, right?
It's the same place, but
Yeah.
well, I don't even know what it's called now.
Yeah,
but
yeah. So, what's the latest? What happened? When the zombie apocalypse hit, did you guys have plans? How did things change for you?
Yeah, I mean, we're the type of band that is nonstop. So we had, a million plans, and we're actually on tour when everything really kicked in. I think the last show we played was, I want to say March 15th, which was the end of like a 2-week tour we were doing on the East Coast and Midwest, and it was kind of like ramping up.
Was that the thing with the Cro-Mags and Obituary?
No. That
No.
was maybe a year. I can't even think of how long. It seems like 3 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
But that was a little before that. But we were just doing a headlining tour, smaller clubs and stuff. It was really cool. Everything was great, and everything was kind of the news and talk and whispering was ramping up. And I know on our last weekend there was talk of maybe canceling the show. Not us canceling, but the shows being canceled, and that didn't happen. We ended up playing all the shows, and I was just really happy to actually get on a plane and get home because there was so much chaos and I didn't even know, are people going to let us fly, blah, 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 blah. So got home, and I've been home ever since.
You grew up in Buffalo, right?
Yep.
Born and raised in Buffalo. Tell us how you came up, what it was like, growing up in Buffalo back then.
Sure. I was born in Buffalo, or I lived really way out in the middle of fucking nowhere in Buffalo.
Wow.
And was just really into sports, just being a bad kid, throwing rocks at cars and getting in trouble and breaking things and stuff like that.
Oh,
but
you too?
Yeah, always just playing sports all the time. That's all I really cared about, whether it was organized sports, and then me and all of my friends in the neighborhood would play when it wasn't organized. And at the same time, my my mother and father got divorced. As early as I can remember, they were divorced. And then my father got remarried. So my stepbrother, whose name is Jay, he's actually 4 months younger than me. But he was just he put me onto hip hop first. So he got me into UTFO and Houdini and Run DMC and stuff like that. And then the next thing he was into skateboarding, and then along came punk rock, and he was really into Sex Pistols, Dead Kennedys, all that stuff. And honestly, I really, there was something about the energy and the going against. I don't think I was destined to be a normal person, but I wasn't really destined to be a punk dude either. I never really fully connected with that stuff. The first show I remember going to was the Dead Milkmen, probably in 1987. And I would go to him with all these shows, but I never went full on in with getting a mohawk or combat boots or stuff.
I love it, man. I love it. You're in other words, I see where this is going, and I like it. You're an American hardcore dude.
I am.
Yeah.
And my father. So at a certain point, I grew up with my mom and my two sisters. He lived with my dad. I would go stay with them, every other weekend or however that divorce family shit works. And eventually my mom moved to Houston, and I kind of was being like a brat, rebellious person. I said, I'm not going, I'm not leaving Buffalo. So I moved in with my dad. So now I'm living with my brother, and we're going to all sorts of shows, and we're starting to play instruments, and like, it's funny.
And you, did you gravitate to an instrument, or was it like, did you pick up an instrument at that point, or?
Yeah, it's funny because I listened to my brother on a podcast recently because he's been in bands ever since. He tattoos and stuff like that. So I have a really bad memory. He has a great memory, but he told a funny story on a podcast that the first drum. So I would play drums and he would play guitar, and in our basement. And he told a story recently about how we lived on the same street as our high school. And I was stealing like cymbals out of my high school's band, the school band. I would like throw them out in the snow and bury them, and then come back at night and take the cymbals out. Like, this is the way you got stuff at the time. So, and then my father, he taped on Night Flight, Another State of Mind, the Social Distortion documentary.
Now we're talking.
Right. Out of any punk band, not now, but at the time, there was something about Social Distortion's Mommy's Little Monster that I really liked. And, but in that documentary, movie, whatever the fuck you want to call it, Minor Threat comes in where their bus breaks down and they stay with Minor Threat.
Yeah, for sure.
And this kind of connected with me more, like more of a straight look, like, not such a punk look. Just something about Minor Threat kind of pushed me to first seeing hardcore. And I remember after that, a kid from my neighborhood, he went to a Catholic, we went to, the normal school. He went to a Catholic, the city school or whatever you call it. He went to a Catholic school, but he lived near us, so we were cool with him. He gave me a dub cassette with Don't Forget the Struggle and Victim in Pain, and that was it. It was over.
It was the infamous mixtape Strikes Again.
It struck, and I mean, that's it. I always say that my first year of high school, I played football, lacrosse, and basketball. Sophomore year, I didn't play. I didn't care about anything. All I cared about was going to shows. We started doing our bands a little more serious. At a certain point, I realized that I just wanted to be the front man as opposed to the shitty drummer I was with crappy drums. And that was that.
Now, hey, you know what, Scott? Pull out your mic and just go without the mic, because it seems like it's a little crunchy from the mic.
Better?
Yep. Think so.
Hold on. Is that better?
Yeah.
It's
it
weird.
is.
I got brand new headphones, because these ones, but maybe it's my input jack.
Yeah, I think that's so. Let's talk a little bit about this. This photo here, and I love the name of this band. This is Slugfest. And how did Slugfest?
Let's see the photo.
Yeah, do you see it? You see it?
I do. That's my brother right there. Guitar in the white shirt.
Tell us about how this band came to be and how things played out.
So it's kind of a crazy story. The River Rock Cafe is if you're my age bracket, I'm 47. If you went to shows in Buffalo in the late 80s, like I started going to like hardcore shows, like I said, 87, 88, 89. The club where all the bands played, except the Cro-Mags. The Cro-Mags, when Best Wishes hit, they played a place called Connecticut Street Armory. So there were bigger places, but your average hardcore show was in the River Rock Cafe. And me and my brother used to go there so much. At one point, we went up to the owner, his name was John, and somehow we said, we're trying to start a band. Do you know anyone that plays drums? And he said, yeah, I play drums. So we started Slugfest, me, my brother, and the owner of the venue, who was much older than us. And it, you know, it kind of worked out to our advantage because he we could practice there. We recorded our demo there on the through his soundboard, which sounds horrible, but it was free. And you know, he got us our first show with Judge, since he was booking all the shows. So it was kind of a blessing in disguise. And from there, we just played in Buffalo a lot. And what did Slug? That was like the first incarnation of Slugfest. Most people don't really know the band like that. People more know the band when we broke up at a certain point, and then we got back together with Tim Redmond on drums, who ended up being the drummer of Snapcase. So most people that know Slugfest know us with the 7-inch we put out. Yeah, that's the demo. That's the second demo. We recorded that on a 4-track, and you can see down there the "Eat Me," like the Boys thing on the airplane. My brother bit that and put it on there. So that was just like really carefree stuff and playing shows. I didn't know what a guarantee was. I didn't know what a backstage was. I didn't know what a rider was. I didn't know what a guest list was. It was like, just go to the shows, fucking mosh it up for every other band playing, and hope some people liked our band and maybe a kid or two would sing along. Really simple and beautiful.
Makes sense. And then I guess Slugfest went on for a while, and then you got Despair started up. Was it two separate things, or were they both going on at the same time?
No, eventually Tim, the drummer, quit Slugfest to be in Snapcase, and to me that was like the world. It was like, I don't want to say it was beef, but I was like highly pissed off, and
right.
it was kind of a bummer because we were actually becoming pretty good. We were pretty bad at first, and we were getting to be kind of a decent hardcore band, and getting to play out of town and stuff like that. But he got the opportunity to be in Snapcase, and I see it now for what it is. He couldn't really say no to that. It was too good of an opportunity. Like, being a Buffalo kid from Buffalo, Snapcase somehow like got on the radar of Victory Records and really was taken off. So he went with the opportunity, and at this point, I'm you know, friendly with everyone. I could care less.
Yeah.
But so I guess like what everybody did at the time, there was so many bands and so many kids, and the scene was so like thriving and young, full of so many people doing shit. I kind of think about it like the first wave of bands I was involved in and friends with, they all eventually break up. So you kind of look at other people and like, you were in this band, you were in this band, we all kind of get along. I like the way you play guitar, and we started Despair. So it was all just kids I knew from shows, and Despair came, and it's kind of the same exact story. We got a little bit of momentum, and people quit, and we broke up.
When, you know, let's talk a little bit. I think for those that might be on the other side of the planet, the sort of like Buffalo, Syracuse. I mean, I'm looking at a lot of these old flyers, and they're friggin' incredible. You know, just these lineups, and it seemed like such a vibrant scene at the time. Could you give us a little perspective on that?
Sure. I mean, at the time, I didn't know any better, but like growing up in Buffalo, when I first got into hardcore, I mean, it was unbelievable. We got to see everybody. Like, everyone from Boston came. So I saw Wrecking Crew, Eye for an Eye, Slapshot, of course. New York, everyone came here. So I saw Raw Deal, I saw Rest in Pieces, I saw Super Touch, like, you know, and Judge so many times, Sick of It All so many times, you know, everybody. And I think it became a touring stop because, you know, California bands came here, Chain of Strength came here, Instead came here. And there was a one promoter named Brian Foister, and he did awesome shows. And at the same time, there was Erie, Pennsylvania, which was an hour and a half from Buffalo that, you know, it had a really cool scene. Brothers Keeper was doing a lot of stuff, and Abnegation. And then we had Rochester's very close, which was squeezed between Buffalo and Syracuse. And then
how far is Buffalo from Syracuse? Like 3 hours?
less than 3. If you were really in a rush, you could probably do it in 2. But if you're a long,
Right.
2.5. And then, you know, I would say from my viewpoint, Buffalo really had it going on in the very early 90s, and then Syracuse just exploded.
Yeah.
And going there to shows, they just had an amazing thing and a different thing. Like, obviously bands like everyone knows Earth Crisis, but there was also like Framework before that, and just amazing bands, an amazing scene. Kids danced a little bit different there than Buffalo. They had like a really cool flavor. There was a lot of zines coming out of both scenes. It was just amazing. And I'm not one of those guys that downplays how great hardcore is now, how special it is, how important it is now. But it's just nothing but really good memories thinking about those times. And yeah, anytime there was a show in Buffalo, there was bound to be people from Syracuse, Rochester, Erie, and vice versa. Toronto too, you know, Toronto, like without crossing the border, which is, you know, can take 5 minutes or 5 hours, you can get to Toronto from Buffalo in less than an hour. So, you know, going there, Hamilton, there was Chokehold was in Hamilton, blowing up that scene, and it was just.
When you were in those early bands, did you get across the border a lot to play in Canada? Was that like a constant for you guys? Like when you were cutting your teeth early on up there?
Yeah, absolutely. We would play in Hamilton, Toronto, Burlington, all those places all the time. Even Montreal had an amazing scene that that was a little bit farther and stuff like that. But getting over the border then was much easier. Now it's like very, very hard. And I can imagine it's going to get even, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Despair 1995, Despair rolls on, and you end up in Fadeaway playing drums. How did you end up? Was that you haven't mentioned yet that you had an affinity for the drums? How did that come about?
Well, like I said, way back, I played the drums a little bit with my brother, and then I decided to be a front man, and so I just had it in me. I'm not a good drummer. I never was a good drummer, but I could do it enough to get by in a hardcore band. So yeah, that's a really cool record. If anyone doesn't know that, I play drums on that. So Fadeaway. There's also another Buffalo band called Against All Hope that I played drums in a little bit. They were both these bands, Fadeaway and Against All Hope, were much better when they had a different drummer.
Oh, stop it!
A huge fan. I'm a huge fan of both of them, and I was the person that when either of those bands played, I would be the person making sure there was a mosh pit. But yeah, I think both those bands at certain points, the drummer left the band or they needed a drummer, and I just played for them for a while. And Against All Hope and Fadeaway are just two really, really kind of unknown, really great Buffalo bands.
And then tell us a little bit about. Let me see. Where's my? I love all this stuff that I got. I got some great stuff here. Let's talk a little about Cinder. I love that Cinder Block. That's such a great. That's a great name for a hardcore band. You know, like if your band's called Cinder Block, you better be a hardcore band. You know. Let's talk a little bit about Cinder Block and how that came to be.
That's actually in the timeline of my life. That's going back more. That's a great show.
Cinder Block was before Fadeaway?
Cinder Block was before Despair, actually.
Oh, okay. I bet.
It's the tail end of Slugfest, because me and Tim Redmond, the drummer that quit to be in Snapcase, were both the singers of Cinderblock. And Cinderblock actually started without me. It was Tim and another guy named Tom singing. And another interesting thing about Cinderblock is the drummer is Dennis from Earth Crisis. Most people that know Earth Crisis know the drummer is Dennis. He's not the first drummer, but he's the drummer that's been in the band for time.
It's incredible how many overlapping things there are, you know?
Yeah, it's really insane. Dennis is from Buffalo as well. And yeah, they started the band without me. And it was kind of this Buffalo version of Quicksand. So what I'm saying by that is it's kind of melodic and kind of a touch emo, but Buffalo is known for being so heavy and hard hitting. It's a little bit harder, but it's a band that really never got off the ground and probably I'm just guessing here, played a total of like 8 local shows, maybe once in Syracuse, maybe not. And yeah, the band recorded a demo, and it's really premature. There's something beautiful to it, but it's almost like, I'll speak about myself. I would say from my perspective, the musicianship's really good. The vocals are not good. And I think if it was done right, it could be really fucking amazing, like really special. And that was at the time when Shelter was coming out, Quicksand was coming out, Burn was coming out, Super Tough, put their album out, and that style of hardcore with a little bit more musicianship and emotion was going on, and that's kind of what we're going for.
Makes sense. Tell us about a little bit about how Buried Alive started up and where that took you.
Okay, and it's funny because right before this podcast, the drummer and guitarist of Buried Alive came over, and we took a walk through the park. So I haven't seen this guy since I moved back. But so Despair, we did a decent amount of stuff. We went to Europe twice. The last thing we did was we toured the U.S. a full U.S. tour with Hatebreed. And then we went to Europe, and then we broke up. And I was just bummed on. I probably didn't realize it at the time, but excuse me, I think people were probably quitting the bands more often because I was a fucking crazy person, asshole, my way or no way, or I'm always right. We have to be like this, we have to do it like that. So people were quitting the bands, and in both those bands, Slugfest and Despair, got like, a little bit of momentum where we could tour and put out records. And on that tour with Hatebreed in California, Tony Victory flew out, signed Hatebreed, and asked Despair to do a 7-inch. And at the time, being on Victory was where you wanted it to be if you wanted to, do your band concept. So I'm like high on life. We're going to do the 7-inch on Victory. The band quits, and we 2 people quit at the same time, and we broke up. So I went into fuck being in bands, and I was kind of just in this. It sounds a little dramatic, but I was just kind of miserable and over it, I guess is the right term. And Buried Alive started again without me. Kind of the same thing I was saying with Despair, just 4 guys. It was actually 3 guys. They didn't have a singer. And they were practicing a lot and writing, and it was just people I knew from other bands and from going to shows, and they kept asking me to be in the band, and I just kept saying no because I was just like, I just had this chip on my shoulder. I didn't want to be in a band, and eventually I heard some of their stuff, and I was like, Buried Alive is not my. How do I say this? Isn't really my type of hardcore. It's a little more technical. They hit a little more, what do you call it? Notes like Converge and Turmoil. Like, I don't know, maybe metalcore for lack of a better term. But they were just a little bit different. But like I said with Cinderblock, but they were doing it still in a Buffalo way. it was super heavy and really powerful and super fast still. They had lots of fast parts. And eventually I just broke down and said, okay, I'll do it. And that was the start of that.
Yeah. You moved out to LA.
Well, Buried Alive's still in Buffalo. And when
Still
I
in
quit
Buffalo.
Buried Alive, then I moved.
Okay.
Yeah.
And when you, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say we had that, or I had that, I guess, that victory connection. So as soon as Buried Alive started, we recorded a 2-song demo. I sent it to Tony. I was like, hey, I got this new thing going. He immediately heard it, said, I want to put it out. So we were on Victory. And Buried Alive was by no means a big band. Like, you know, bigger bands at the time were like VOD, Earth Crisis, stuff like that. But we we were in a good place. We had a pretty unique sound. We got really good recordings. We were on Victory. We were a little bit older, so we had some connections and stuff like that. Tim Bohr started booking us, and
there you go.
We're able to do a lot. Yeah, able to do a lot of stuff. And again, it was, I mean, not to keep coming back to the same thing. We did a lot and we toured, and this time I quit, but I quit. Not to dog people out because I'm friendly with everybody and want to keep it that way, but I just thought the band was going in a direction that was less hardcore and more of something I didn't understand, like musically as well as ethically. It's not like we were trying to get rich or be a rock band, but it just seemed like, to me, and the people that were in the band dispute this, but in my mind, I just felt like it was moving away from hardcore and I wasn't ready to do that. Maybe that was all in my head, but at a certain point I just said I quit, and then I moved to the West Coast.
That's quite a jump from upstate New York, Buffalo to La La Land, huh?
Well, I mean, I'm very happy to be back in Buffalo. There isn't one thing that's happened here that I want to be back in LA. But at that time, I was, I think, 29, and I'm touring, and I'm going to Europe, and I'm going to California and Texas and Florida and Chicago and all these different places. And then I would come back to Buffalo and kind of be like, there's more out there for me. It's time for me to fucking go. So I did that, and I guess all roads lead back to Buffalo.
Absolutely.
I mean,
hey,
let's your run.
Hey, let me shout out I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm gonna let you go because I keep talking over you. Sorry.
Okay, let me shout out a couple of sponsors. Let me take care of some business. Let me do the big reveal on a couple of the A7 bands, and we'll come back in a couple minutes and we'll talk about how Terror got up and running in LA, okay?
Can I go to the bathroom?
You have 10, 15 minutes, bro. You know what?
Oh.
I mean, if you could go to the bathroom within 10, 15 minutes, you're good, bro. I'll see you in a minute.
All right,
I'll see you in a bit. All right, what's happening? This is the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, the Texas Silver Rush, Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and once again, New York Hardcore Comics. Opened back in 2013 when lifelong friends Debo the Pro and Lee Fairley combined their collections and obsessions for comic books, punk rock, toys and statues, Magic the Gathering, and all things horror. Horror. The store is located at 117 Main Street in lovely Dobbs Ferry, New York. If you want to support them during this pandemic, please contact them via email at newyorkhardcorecomics@gmail.com or any social media channel for an exclusive store package. That said, it's time to get into a bit of our A7 compilation that's coming out. We did a little bit of this on the last show. We're going to do a little bit of we're gonna roll out a couple more bands. If you're new to this party, or you've been living in a friggin' cave, Pitchfork is putting out on April 27th the A7 Back to the New York Hardcore Roots music series compilation. There is going to be 17 bands on this thing. This is the first real big epic compilation coming out of New York City in quite a while. Everybody's real excited about this. We announced the first 5 bands, which is the Car Bomb Parade, Crazy Eddie, Enziguri. Who else? I'm drawing a blank already. Got a lot on my head. Enziguri. But anyway, that said, I'm going to bring on a couple we're going to do a little bit of a reveal. Who might not feel bad? Car Bomb Parade, Crazy Eddie, Enziguri, 2 other bands. Help me out. Who else did we announce? Help me, please. Hold on. No, I got to do everything myself. Here we go. Okay. So far, we've announced Crazy Eddie, Enziguri, Dead Blowhammer, Kings Never Die, and the Car Bomb Parade. Boom. So now we're going to, there you go. Thank you, Dead Blowhammer. I'm a little burnt, man. I was out on the film stage yesterday. It was a long day. I'm a little frazzled. Yes, thank you, Lenny from Crazy Eddie. Kings Never Die and Dead Blowhammer. No, that's that. Yes, the last big comp to come out of New York was the New York Hardest back in about 95. This comp's off the hook. We're going to talk about it today. Let's do a little reveal here. The 6th band on the bill. I want to bring on our friend Tyler Guida and his band. He's representing Crippled Urn. What's up?
Yo.
All right, let's keep it moving. From The Last Stand, Mr. Michael Scandato, what's happening?
What's up, everybody? How you doing, Drew?
I'm good, buddy. What else we got here? Listen, from The Craze, what's up, Carlos?
What's up?
Okay, now, come on. And really excited that this band is on the comp from Reaching Out. Rupa Zimkus.
What's going on?
All right. Hey, listen, we're doing it. The comp is moving forward. Let's start with you, Tyler. What's the name of the song? Where'd you record it? And how do you feel about being on this thing?
I was fucking so excited. It makes me feel like I'm in a band again, being on this. Fucking had nothing going on. I don't know what to announce, but I fucking have nothing to say. Well, the name of the song is 10 Steps Back. It's about all the keyboard warrior stuff that's been going on, which has actually been fucking amplified by 4,000 since this fucking lockdown and all this shit happened. And we recorded it with Mikhail Moranis over at Backroom Studios in New Jersey. And it's awesome because we were sitting on the song and it was unfinished. So this is a great little push for us to get in the studio and do something. It was fucking beautiful.
Good. Yeah, and we're glad you're on it, man. Crippled Urn crushes, and you guys are a big part of what made the A7 series great. So we're psyched that you're a part of it.
Happy to be here.
Yeah, man. Hey, Michael Scandato, what's up, bro? Tell us about the name of the track, where'd you record it, and what your take on this whole thing is.
What's going on, Drew? Hello, everybody. The name of the track is called I Can't Look Back. It was recorded with our good friend Jerry Farley, who's recorded all of our songs. We're really excited about it. It's a song we've been playing live for a little bit, but we haven't recorded yet. And it's kind of like an anthem for 2021 about fucking moving forward, man. You know, this is a year to move forward, I think. And we're just really happy to be a part of the first New York Hardcore comp that's coming out in way too long. So, and some great company. And
I told you, Mike, your track crushes, man. I mean, it really rang my bell, bro. I must say, I was like, wow, it's really fantastic. Hey, Rupa,
I was going to say it was written by me and Dion, co-joint. So we write some great stuff together.
Absolutely. Hey, Rupa, tell us about your track and where'd you record it and what your take on this whole thing is.
So we recorded it at Landmine Studios, and the song's called Stand Together. It's mostly just about everything's been so divided lately, and people need to learn how to come back together. Really, that's really it.
And listen, your track shreds too, man. It is it is sonically it really shreds, man. So
Thank you.
yeah, and it's great that this compilation is not just older bands. There's a couple of older bands, but there's a lot of new bands, and you guys are reaching out as one of them. I mean, you guys are all teenagers. You guys and gals are all teenagers.
Yeah.
Right? 3 guys, 2 gals in that band, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's cool. And you have a girl singer, which is cool. We need more girls in hardcore. I always say that. Yeah. Hey, Carlos, and not just for my own selfish reasons. Hey, Carlos, tell us about the Craze track and what's going on.
Well, I wish I could be a lot more quiet and chill as Rupert, but I like to talk a lot, especially with some drinks in me. So here we go. The name of the song is Strontium Dogs, and it was recorded in Outer House Studios, which is us pretty much our home away from home, and it was engineered and written by Johnny Cray, of course. It's a song that was actually originally written for Drunken Rampage, and we waited for a long time for Simon Charlie to write some lyrics for us. So as soon as he tapped out, Johnny jumped on it and put it together and put his little twist on it, as he always does. And now that I found out that it's the first compilation since '95, I mean, I can speak for the rest of the guys. We're truly, truly honored to be on this thing. As you can tell, I'm representing. So, and it's a funny thing because yesterday we actually marked the year anniversary the last time the Craze played on a big stage when we opened up for the Addicts. And after that show, everything shut down. And the only other time we played after that was when we did the live stream with Vinny Stigma and you guys here at Bowery Electric. So I'm pretty honored to be, bunched up with a bunch of you guys, man. And I'm sure I can speak with, for the rest of the guys.
Well, thanks. And really, one of the things about this compilation is it's pretty eclectic. You know what I mean? There's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And listen, we're not reinventing the wheel here. It's not like there's a folk band and a jazz band, but there's a lot of different flavors on this thing. You guys are a hard punk drinking band. The Last Stand's like a real hardcore band. There's a lot of different things going on here, which makes this compilation pretty unique. I want to bring on a friend of ours. I want to, for those out there that may not know him, he's been on the show before, but he's designing the package for this compilation, and that's from Buskey Design, Mr. Jonathan Buskey. What's up, buddy?
What's going on?
Hey, man. Let's talk about the compilation and the package a little bit. I know we've been going back and forth a little bit. Let's do a little bit of a reveal. Tell us about what you're working on for the package of this thing.
Okay, cool. Basically, like you said, I don't think I'm really trying to reinvent the wheel either. One thing I loved about hardcore music was the fact that, anybody could basically do it down to designing the packaging. So for me, I'm not trying to really reinvent anything. Compilations, there's always been the New Breed comp, which was a great comp that came with a really cool zine. There's another comp that came out years ago called It's for Life that Tony Retman put out. That's another one that came with a really cool zine. So kind of using that as an influence. So we're going to do the record, and it's going to come with, like a cool little zine as the insert. So every band will kind of have their own page, similar to something like this. And there was a ton of great assets from all the great photography inside the venue, the live shows, outside the venue, people hanging out, all the kids hanging out. So we're going to include all of that awesome photography from, Rich and Steven. There's a lot of really, really great just assets. We're going to try to include everything because, it needs all of that. It should be, an all encapsulating thing. So hopefully we'll do it some justice. I think it's coming together pretty cool so far. And, we'll see.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's right. I mean, this is going to have a deluxe package. It's
Yeah.
going to be really something special. It's not just going to be it's not just going to be a black record, in a sleeve. There's going to be a lot to this. There's going to be a lot of information. There's going to be this fanzine that's connected to it. It's going to be great. And we're kind of rolling this out a little bit at a time, but this thing is going to be really special. And it's moving. It's getting there. It's getting there.
Yeah.
And so that's cool, man. Yeah. And what else? That's I guess that's kind of it, guys. I just really appreciate you guys being a part of it. It's been really challenging to keep our I don't want to be corny, like our community and our family together, but like this A7 thing that we had going on before the pandemic was something really special. We had something really unique. It was well attended. People loved it, and in a certain way, this is an extension of it. This is 17 bands that were involved in the place. All pictures from the place. This thing, I guarantee you, this thing's going to be great.
Yeah. It's cool because compilations have always been such a great encapsulation of a moment in time, and this was definitely one of those moments in time in New York where it was quick, it was a flash in the pan, really, but it it was an inspiring moment in time. It was a little bit of downtime going on. It created a new place for younger kids, to come and learn about some of this stuff, and even with reaching out, being on the comp, I think it's great because in 20 years from now, they'll be the old band, but right now they're the brand new band, So, and that's how the shit keeps moving. This is the cycle. This is how it keeps continuing and growing. So,
and the funny thing was initially, we thought we'd get like 12 bands on the vinyl, and we told each band like, okay, you got like 3 minutes or so. Everyone had to give in songs at 3 minutes. Well, everyone starts handing in songs at like a minute and a half.
Yeah.
So it created more and more room because originally there was the bands on the vinyl, and then the overflow bands were just going to be on the digital. But what happened in the end was, hey, it's friggin' hardcore. Most of the music was like under 2 minutes. And it could, 13, 14, 15, there's 17 bands on the vinyl, so it's going to be great, man. It's going to be great. So, hey, thanks to all you guys. And, Busky, I'll bring you back on in a bit. Tyler, you want to shout anybody out?
I do that because every time I do that, I forget somebody important and I look like a fucking asshole. But everybody knows who they are.
Michael Scandato, anybody you want to shout out?
I just want to shout out all the guys in The Last Stand and Inhuman, the whole Brooklyn crew. What's up, everybody? And thank you so much, Drew, for having us.
My pleasure. Carlos?
Yeah, I want to shout out Outer House Studios for giving us a second home, and the guys from The Craze and you for putting this together, man. Thank you, man.
It's my pleasure. It's what I do. I do it because I love it. Rupa, pull it together. Who do you want to shout out?
Len at Landmine for helping us squeeze into a schedule to record this song, and everyone reaching out, and you for having us on, even though we're a new band.
Yeah, well, you're a new band, but you're a young band, and that's really important. I always say that, man, it can't just be friggin' old timers day, man. I can't stand that shit. So hey, I'll talk to all you guys later. You're now free to post on social media and say that you're on the comp. All right. I'll talk to you guys in a bit. Take care.
Thank you, guys.
My pleasure. Well, there you have it. Woo! How about that, huh? A7 comp coming out April 17th on Pitchfork. That said, let's get back to the task at hand. Let's get our guests back on. Everybody behaving themselves out? Yep. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Shout out to Gary Yasko, who produced this thing and dealt with all the idiosyncrasies of this thing. That said, let's bring on our guest once again, Mr. Scott Vogel from Terror. Hey, man. How you doing?
That was interesting.
Listen, bro, I keep it moving here, man.
I don't think my phone could handle
Did everything work out in the bathroom? No.
Everything worked out. I want to say hello to Mr. Scandato if he's still watching this. I haven't seen him in a long time.
Oh, to Scandato? Hey, Michael. Scott Vogel wants to say hi.
Hey, what's up, Scott? Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. Let's put my headphones back in. What's going on?
Pull it together, man.
Nothing. I was thrown off and then just started seeing all these people here. So I saw you and wanted to say hello.
Oh, thank you, man. Drew, way back in '98, Inhuman and Shutdown did a U.S. tour.
Oh,
and
wow.
we did a cool show in Louisville, Kentucky with Buried Alive. And that's when I met, I believe, Scott for the first time.
Wow. So you guys go back a ways.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Cool.
All right.
Dude. All right, Scandato. I'll see you there.
Do your thing, man. Take care, Scott.
Well. There you go. Hey, so Scott, let's talk a little bit about you move out to LA. How did Terror come about?
So I moved out to LA thinking I wouldn't be in any more bands. I was kind of, again, like the whole, God, it sounds like such a sappy story, but Buried Alive again broke up and I was like, fuck this. And it's funny because the mixtape comes back into play. My good friend Larry, who's from Buffalo, used to sing in a band here called Envy, not the Envy from Japan, the Envy from Buffalo. And I stayed with him in California trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life. And he gave me a tape of No Warning, who's a Toronto band who are fucking amazing. It was their first 7-inch, and a band called Carry On. They're a band from out in California from the Ventura area. And he gave me this record or this tape, kind of like that same Victim in Pain, Don't Forget the Struggle tape. And he said, I think you're really going to like this. This was at a time when hardcore was kind of going away, very far from the more traditional sound. Bands like maybe 18 Visions and Throwdown were kind of like the bigger thing at the time. And he knew that I was like I said earlier, I'm just into more like straightforward stuff. And I heard this band Carry On, and they were fucking amazing. And like, I don't know, let's say a month later, I got this phone call on my answering machine saying like, Carry On broke up, we're starting a new band and we want you to sing. And I was in my head, I was like done with bands, and I couldn't resist it because the record they did was so good. And here we are 20 fucking years later.
When you stepped into it, were you writing from the ground up? Did they have music and you put lyrics to it? Or did you really just say, hey, from the ground up, we're starting this thing organically?
They were young, but they had their shit together. I remember the first time I walked into like our drummer, Nick, who's still in the band, he had a studio in his garage. All I was thinking was like, does this drummer hit hard? And can he play a fast beat? Because I heard the record. I knew they could write songs. But you never know, like with studio stuff, what the reality was. And Nick is a fucking beast. He hits harder than anyone, and he can play fast as shit. So
and you and him you and him are still to this day. You and him are still really from the guys that were in the room that first day you showed up. It's really you and him to this day, right?
Absolutely. And after this podcast is done, I'm getting on a Terror band practice. Like now, it's so crazy that they're gonna jam, and I'm gonna be on my phone like this and saying, I really like awesome. That part. I don't like that part. Play this part longer. So it's it's still me and Nick all the way.
That's great, man. That's great. So you found yourself, you're fronting a band that's coming out of the LA area, and you guys, I mean, you guys got cracking right away, and you guys put in work, man. You guys worked hard right out of the gate, right?
Yeah, it's not like we ever had like this conversation that we were gonna take over the world or anything, but we did all say to ourselves, we all want to do this band as much as possible. We're going to take any opportunity we got. And I think there was a lot of, we had a lot of cards in our deck. I was from the East Coast and a little bit older.
Yeah.
They were from the West Coast and a little bit younger. You know, we just knew so many people. Todd booked shows. I had toured a lot. I had so many bands sleep on my floor. You know, it was just like, we knew so many people, different age ranges, different coasts. And we just, I don't want to like toot our own horn, but we were like pretty good right off the bat. And we just went for it. And like that being said, we had bands like Blood for Blood and Death Threat took us on tour really early. But at the same time, like Every Time I Die and Throat, we knew so many different people. And it, you know, we were willing to live in the van and get $150 a night for years. The first couple of years of the band, you know, we probably never got $50. So it was a grind, and luckily we made our way through it.
I know we're skipping around, but you guys lived like that for 10 years, basically, right?
Yeah, it was a tough grind. I mean, one of the things I love about Terror is we'll play a fucking basement show right now. You know, like we don't give a fuck. Like
That's awesome.
You know, we'll play anywhere, anytime, as long as it's doesn't make us feel like we're doing something that's not right in our souls. So you know, we've been fortunate enough to go out on tour with some huge bands, and but at the same time, like I said, we'll play in someone's fucking basement right now. I don't care. We play some huge festivals all over the world, and then the next day, you know, you play a huge festival in Europe on a Saturday, and by that Monday, you're playing to like 75 kids in dirty little club, and we're fine with that.
Tell us a little bit about the first full length, One for the Underdogs. That one really kind of, you know, started putting you on the map. Any recollections of this sort of freshman effort here?
Yeah, well, looking at that image, that cover art's fucking horrible. Like, I wish we could do that one over. But it was just a really exciting time. And, like, I think Hatebreed had really blown the doors open for hardcore bands to be taken more seriously, and also you know, I don't want to like go down this like industry thing, because that's not really what we're about. But because of like Hatebreed, bigger bands were looking for a hardcore band to take on the road, and so we got like so many opportunities. Like, you know, at this time we were on tour, like on the Sounds of the Underground tour with like Behemoth, Gwar, Lamb of God, like all these crazy things. But of course, at the same time, like I said, we're doing straight up hardcore tours, and we're going to Europe. Europe has that huge touring infrastructure, I guess you'd call it. That's really built for a band like Terror. You know, like being able to open up for Madball and Sick of It All, Agnostic Front, all these bands over there. And of course, when we got to play to those crowds, we have enough musically and you know, stage-wise in common with those bands, where a lot of those people really took to us, and really Europe's been really great to us always, and still is. And it's been a crazy ride. I won't lie. There's lots of times where I wanted to fucking never get in a band again, or never go on tour, or thinking about a flight. You know, it's really sad when you're flying to Japan, you're bitching about the 14-hour flight to get there, because you know in the back of your mind you're lucky as hell and a million people would kill to do that tour. So we really did a lot, and sometimes it was more of a grind than we wanted. But just to be able to still be a band and still play shows, and still, you know, we can pretty much go anywhere in the world, and, you know, someone will tell me your lyrics really did a lot for me, and that's like the biggest reward.
That's awesome. Hey, I want to bring our friend on, our Jonathan Buskey. What's up, buddy?
What's up, buddies? My buddies.
Another upstate guy.
Bring him.
Yeah. I think we're good. Yo.
We have to. Scott has a little lag.
Yeah. Some bandwidth issues.
Yeah. So tell us, Buskey, how did Terror come into your orbit? I mean, you ended up joining the band, like, yeah.
Well, I've known Scott, been friends with Scott since early 90s, like you know, sort of like what he touched on before, the Buffalo, Syracuse, upstate New York connection. I first saw Slugfest in, the early 90s. I have a cool flyer here. So I saw Slugfest, this was 93. And, was a what's that? Huh?
Where's that from?
Where's it from?
Oh, this is, where was this? Rochester, I think.
No, what's it? No, it says Liberty. What is it? Bosco's? Is
Bosco's.
That's a place? Bosco's?
Bosco's. I think this was in Rochester.
Ah.
But anyways, yeah, I mean, early 90s, and he would come to Syracuse with his bands. I would go to Buffalo to see his bands. And eventually, I had a band called Another Victim, and Buried Alive played quite often. And, we just became friends. My band, The Promise, we ended up touring with Terror very early on in both of our careers. There he is. And then, we always said at some point that we were going to do a band together, just because we loved each other's bands and whatnot. And, they had lost their bass player right at the end of Always the Hard Way. And The Promise had just broken up. So I jumped in, started playing with Terror for a little while.
Scott, any recollections on that era, how Buskey came into the mix?
Well, I knew that motherfucker had great stage presence, and it takes a crazy person to join Terror, and he had that inside of him too. And I think I just, anytime Terror's needed a band member, we've all looked to the people we know and stuff. So he's a perfect go-to person.
I unfortunately didn't understand any of that. So
I did. I heard it all.
I didn't hear any of it. It's all broken up.
Yeah, here I got another. I have another one here. Hold on. This is you playing in Terror, right? Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You can see my underwear. Yeah, that was a good one, man. Terror was awesome. And I was obviously, a big fan of the band before. Huge fan of the band during, and still a huge fan post. To me, it's the quintessential hardcore band. There's never been a moment in that band's career where they thought they were better than anybody or anything. And it was always about just being a fucking real deal hardcore band to this day,
Yeah.
So.
Absolutely. I mean, hey, Scott, let me ask you. I mean, all those miles, all those years, all the wear and tear got to take a physical toll on you, right?
Yes.
Bandwidth shot.
Yeah. Can you hear us, Scott? All right.
Yeah. You got to kick me off.
Yeah, I guess so. I'll talk to you in a bit, Busk.
Okay.
All right, Buskey's out. It's you and me. Can you hear me?
I think when you get more than just me on here, my phone can't handle it.
Yeah. All right. Well, Busky's gone. Has all the wear and tear through the years have affected you physically?
Yes, physically and mentally. And if Busky's listening, I love him and wish he was on here because me and him had a lot of fun together. And what I said that he didn't hear is he was awesome on stage and a mentally crazy person. So he fit the criteria for terrifying. And yeah, I mean, it's beat me up. I mean, I haven't done myself much favor because I drank a lot of alcohol over the years. So that's beaten me up. But just, besides the physical thing of going off on stage and sleeping wherever you sleep or not sleeping at all, and flights and carrying equipment and all that stuff, that's obviously beating me up. And, you just don't know where you're going to eat. So sometimes it's Taco Bell and state food. So all that stuff fucks you up. But I mean, like my other path was playing sports all the time. So I'm sure if I played football up until this age, I'd be fucked up from that too. So I guess the human body just gets beat down by life.
Absolutely. Hey, tell us about, we had Sammy Siegler on the show. Tell us about the band you have with him, World Be Free, and how that came about.
That was just me. Every band I've ever been in is really just like really aggressive, mosh breakdown, angry, pissed off, in your face hardcore. And I listen to so much stuff like Lifetime, Water Music, Texas is the Reason, all sorts of stuff like that. I always have. And I just, at a certain point, I think the goal was, Dag Nasty Can't Say, that's one of my favorite records of all time, of any music. And I just wanted to try to do something a little less mosh, a little less angry, a little less, with some sort of melody. And yeah, the first person I got was Joe, my friend Joe. He's from Buffalo. He used to be in Despair with me. I knew he would be really good for writing that style of hardcore. So I got Joe, and then Andrew from Strife, and then we got Sammy and Sammy Arthur. And we did the first record, The Anti-Circle, that came out on Rev. And we just put out a new record, it just came out really recently. That's on Rev 2, and that's got Alex from Chain of Strength playing bass, just because up until I moved, we were all in California, and Arthur was in New York, which made it a little bit harder. Just had Alex playing the new shit.
Cool. Hey, I want to bring on Sid the Kid, and I want to do Record of the Week with him. We'll let him do his spiel. If you lock up or whatever, I'll get him off, and then you go. But let's bring Sid on. What's up, bro?
What up, Drew? What's going on,
All
Scott?
right, let's jump right into this, Sid. All right.
All righty.
Okay, so here we go. Sid the Kid. Record of the Week.
Got my banner and the little ticker thing.
Okay, you're not getting your banner yet, bro. One thing at a time, bro. All right? Here we go. Record of the Week. Boom. Tell us about it.
Boom, motherfuckers. Mm-hmm. That's right. I had to pull yet another one out today, guys. So, Ray obviously might not still be in the studio anymore, but his memory and his spirit lives on. As you can tell right here, this is Warzone's first release, which is entitled Don't Forget the Struggle, Don't Forget the Streets. It was recorded at Studio X in Ridgewood, New Jersey in August of 1987. Was released later that year on their own label, Fist Records, which down the line, within early of '88, Caroline picked up the record and distributed it. And you want to think of hardcore, this is that album right there. The album itself was a whole step up from their first 7-inch when it came out, from the production and the tightness of the song structure too. Over half the album was written, when Ray was doing Skinhead Youth a few years prior. But when you have Paul and Crazy Jace Kid on guitar, with the tightness of the sharing the leads, and they're short and fast. Also accompanying John Oman and Lukey Luke with that rhythm section, it was a solid lineup for sure. And for being 12 songs in about 26 minutes, It's a simple yet effective hardcore record. It cuts to doesn't pull no punches, cuts to the chase, and there you go. It's the lyrical content as well speaks for itself. For me, this is one of those records I grew up when it came out, and I loved it from day one, and it's still on my rotation too.
Well, it's certainly a classic for sure. Hey Scott, how's your bandwidth? Is this a record that resonates with you? Sid, I'm gonna. Yeah. Yes, you. Hold on, Sid. Yeah, Warzone record. Is that record something that is that? Can you tell us a little bit about that record? Hey, nobody said it was going to be easy. You want to go out and start one of these friggin' shows? I challenge you. It's all not glory. Don't forget the struggle. Don't forget the bandwidth. Hey, you with me? Are you with me here? Hey,
Man,
nobody
can
said.
you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Any thoughts on the Warzone record?
Yeah, that's the greatest hardcore record ever made.
Tell us about it.
Shit. Do you have 1 second? Can I go grab something?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Why my phone sucks so bad?
Like the Pillars of Ivory sweatshirt. Hey man, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, right? Hang in with me. Our guest is Scott Vogel, challenging for the Craig Satari worst Wi-Fi ever on the show. The struggle is bandwidth, absolutely. Crazy but not insane. No guts, no glory. Hold on. We'll get Scotty. Scott's obviously going to get. Oh, wow. Nice. Oh, hell yeah. That is dope.
I took this off my wall. I put Don't Forget the Struggle as the greatest hardcore record of all time for me. And yeah, that's very coincidental that would have been the record of the week.
Yeah, for sure. So that's one that, hey, living. I mean, Buffalo is New York, right? But it's incredible how this stuff, really resonated so deeply. I mean, listen, the New York hardcore stuff resonates all over the world, but it really reached to upstate New York, man. The Lower East Side stuff, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when I got into hardcore, I don't want to say all the best bands were coming out of New York. I mean, something I think about a lot is like, I didn't live there, but I couldn't imagine in the late 80s and early 90s, like all that hardcore and hip hop too. Like all my favorite hip hop too is like Nas, Mobb Deep, Capone and Noriega, Show and AG, like all that great hip hop too. Like I can't even imagine what that was like. It's fucking unbelievable that there was so much energy and talent in that little area.
Absolutely. Let me take a break, Scott. A quick break. We'll come back and we will try to mount the offensive and take some questions from everyone around the world. All right. What's happening? It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live, and we are sponsored. We incredibly challenged today and sponsored by New York Hardcore Comics, The Organic Grill, Texas Silver Rush, Your Core Hardcore fan page, and Chain Reaction Records and Skateboards. Located in Lakewood, Colorado, is the Rocky Mountain headquarters for all things punk, hardcore, and metal. Established in 2014, they have the largest selection of records, CDs, shirts, stickers, patches, and accessories between Chicago and LA. From the pit to the ditch, they got your back. Get in touch with them at www.chainreactionrecords.com. Also, I want to announce a couple of other upcoming shows. Let me clear the deck here. Coming up, episode 100, as if you did not know. Very excited. Landmark show. Mr. Jamie Jasta from Hatebreed. Ooh, it's going to be great. 100 shows. That happened fast. Show number 101 comes after that. We announced it last time from Burn and Absolution. Gavin Van Vlack coming up. Lower East Side guy. Been around for a minute. Also, announcing this show for the first time, you're hearing it, unless you're a patron. Listen, if you were a patron on Patreon, you would know about this already. So there's a little bit of a lag time. But that said, coming up on Sunday, February 21st, we have Joe Oliver from Wisdom in Chains coming on the show. Mixing it up a little bit. Here we go. We've wanted to get this guy on for a while. So there you go. Joe from Wisdom and Change. That said, for those that are wondering, how can I contribute to the show? How can I support it? There's the PayPal and the Patreon information. Don't be shy. Also, there's a merch link underneath. And if you're watching this as a rerun, there is a subscription button. So subscribe to the YouTube Stone Films NYC page so you can get alerts. Intruder alert, stop the intruder. Yeah, man, Wisdom in Chains coming up. What else do I need to shout out? No, we pretty much got everything. If you have any questions for Mr. Scott Vogel from Terror, please post it up. Do it now. Let's get into some questions. See what we got here. Let me see. Any questions? Let it fly. Let me clear the deck. Let's bring him. Let's bring him back. Hold on. Here you go. Hey, man, you're back. Let's hope for the best. Let's take a couple questions. Post up some questions, you bums. Let's see. Here we go from Ashley. This is more of a statement. Excellent band live. I've seen you guys a couple times. First was the English Persistence Hardcore Punk Metal Festival. I can't remember what year, but it was years ago. Okay. All right, here we go. Here's one for you. Do you find it difficult to keep coming up with lyrics?
First, I want to say thank you for having me on the show. Second, I want to say sorry that all I have is an iPhone, so I don't have a laptop or anything. So I can tell there's some technical stuff, but it is what it is. So sorry for anyone that had to bear with it. And I can see you do things ultra professional, so sorry to put a thorn in your side.
It's okay.
I do find it difficult to keep coming up with lyrics because, I mean, Terror has, 8 records, 5-7 inches, and that's not all the other bands we've mentioned. So, and you don't want to use, you don't want to say the same thing twice or repeat things, or if you got like kind of a cool catchphrase, you can't use it again. And plus you're also, I don't want to say competing, but you can't really use something that someone else said. So it's kind of, it is tough, but you got to get it done, and you got to keep people interested, and you got to be creative, and you got to come up with things that matter. I think more than anything I just said there about making sure you come up with something catchy, you got to come up with something that people connect with. That's the only way you're going to have people connecting with your band.
Absolutely. Here's a little super chat from Keith Frank. He says, not really a question, but just want to appreciate the energy every time you play Troy in Albany. KOTF, one of my favorite albums of all time. I mean, Troy in Albany has got to resonate with you, right?
Stigmata and Dying Breed. Yeah. Thank you, Keith. I appreciate it. And much love to Troy Core.
Absolutely. Here's a question from our resident historian, Chucky Brown from Crazy Eddie. He says, Terror has some hip hop guest spots on their albums. Will we ever hear any other MCs in future albums? If so, please get rappers Conway the Machine and Benny the Butcher.
I tried to get Derringer, who is those two guys, one of their beat makers. They're all from Buffalo, and maybe that's possible. My friend Andy Williams from Every Time I Die, who is also a wrestler, is kind of tight with West Side Gun. So I would love for that to happen. I love the whole Griselda thing, and it's just another cool thing that's going on in Buffalo right now.
Right on. Here's one from Gome. How did the connection with Lion's Law happen?
Josiah from a band called Criminal Instinct, me, him, and Jared from Trapped Under Ice were at a Dodgers game, a baseball game, and I had brought up some ideas for Terror to tour with in Europe, and he brought that up to me, and it really, I don't know if you know the band Bishop's Green. They're kind of in that Lion's Law world.
Yeah.
Like them. I thought that was a great idea. I definitely didn't think of it. No one thought of it except Josiah, and he gets all the props, and it was incredible. It was such a good vibe, and we did that tour in Europe. And I swear to God, I've been known to drink a lot, and I know people that drink a lot. Those dudes in Lion's Law, they party harder than almost anyone I've ever seen. And after that, the tour was, I don't know, 2 or 3 weeks. And I got a message from one of them that they wanted me to sing on their record. And that's one of my favorite records of last year. It's fucking incredible. And those guys are great. So I hope that we get to tour with them again. I hope that we get to tour with them again.
Absolutely. Did you ever write graffiti?
Nah. I can't even write words. My writing is fucking terrible. But I do have a really cool picture of my brother threw up a Slugfest huge tag, and there's a picture of me standing next to it in like maybe 1991. But me, hell no.
Scott, favorite Warzone song?
Ooh. I'm just gonna go with Intro Bust because the little skit, and obviously taking nothing away from Raby's vocals, but to start a record like that is just like so much energy and so cool and so unique. So I'm going Intro Bust.
Fair enough. Here's one from our friend Mike DeJean, representing Astoria, Queens. Thumbs in or out?
Thumbs always out. And much props to him. What a fucking legend. What a riff master. And we toured that same tour with Lion's Law. Outburst did 3 or 4 of the shows, maybe 4 or 5 of the shows. And just to be able to tour with Outburst is insane. And the Chromax tour you brought up, he was with them. So that's when I got to really know him a lot better. And he's an amazing person.
Fantastic. Here's a question from our man Johnny Rock. Scott, any new bands on your radar worth mentioning?
A band that I would really like to plug, and this is going to sound like it's not genuine, but my brother has a band called Pure Heel, and he plays guitar, and Jesse, the drummer of Buried Alive, also plays guitar in it, and they're kind of like fast, really fast, like metal is hardcore, like before metal invaded hardcore. And it's really, really, really good. That's the first band that comes to mind. They're called Pure Heel. They have a new 7-inch coming out, and people should check them out. They're really fucking good.
This. I know you got to answer this one tastefully. But favorite European country to play in, other than the fact that they're all your favorite.
The first one coming to mind is Germany, because the shows are always great. But let me think. I'm gonna say Germany. It really is. I love being there. But like I said earlier, before I was asked, Europe as a whole has been so great to Terror, and we are very, very appreciative to everyone that supports us over there.
So I'm not clear on this, but I'm kind of getting it as I go here. So there was a World Be Free European tour that was canceled. Any plans to get out there and do that at some point?
Yeah, I canceled that tour because I fucked my back up really bad on the Terror tour, and I was in a really rough shape. I couldn't have done it. It was fucking, and it was it was with Judge. It was going to be really cool, and it was short. It was only like 10 shows, and it's a real bum out. There are no plans at all right now with anything, but one thing that has to happen before my voice gets ripped out of my throat and is thrown in the garbage is World Be Free needs to come to Europe. So I hope that happens.
Cool. Vogelisms.com was my favorite website back in the day. Do you know who made it? Thanks. Cheers from Prague.
Yes. For anyone that doesn't know, it was a site, Vogelisms.com, and it was really basic, and it just showed in quotes stupid things I would say on stage, like mosh calls and things I would say to the crowd. One time I was now I take things like that with a grain of salt and think they're somewhat flattering and hopefully, but sometimes it's a little too goofy and takes away from the seriousness of the band, which isn't really a bad thing. But I wrote the website and I was like, hey, this is Scott. I really want you to take this website down. And it was a female in the Toronto area, and she said, please don't make me take the site down. I love your band, and I'm doing this not, as a total tribute to you. And I said, okay, keep it. So that's the story with that.
All right. That's cool. This is a little, not a question, but one of the best shows I've seen with Born From Pain with Scott on vocals.
Yeah, that's so Born From Pain's a band from the Netherlands, and their singer Rob's one of my long best friends, and this was back at a time when he was playing bass for the band, and their singer had quit, and they had a different singer filled in for them, and that didn't work out. And he just asked me, Terror had time off, and he was like, do you want to sing for us for a tour? And this is when I couldn't get enough of touring. If Terror hadn't been touring enough, I could go fill in for another band. And we did like a 3-week tour or something, and it was great because the tour was great, and not that there weren't people at the shows or anything, but I didn't have any. It wasn't my band. I didn't have to worry about merch. I didn't have to worry about anything. All I had to do was get there and do like the 30-40 minute set and with some of my friends with a band I love. So I really like that tour too. Thank you, whoever said that.
Cool. another one from Chucky Brown. You got asked to sing for the band 100 Demons. Why did you turn it down?
That was when I just literally had moved to the out west a month earlier, and it would have been turn back around and go back to the East Coast. Yeah. And those guys are too big animals for me. They would have eaten me alive.
That's great. Here's one from our man Thomas Starkey. I know this is going back a ways. We're a little impartial to Biohazard here. Being that I used to work for them and I was involved with them all those years ago, and I just have so much love for those guys. Any memories from doing Hold My Own with Biohazard live to close their set in 2003, 18 years ago?
I think what he's talking about is at Hellfest in Syracuse, and that was the first time Terror ever went to Europe. We toured with Biohazard, so that again, we might have not even had a record out. We might have still had a demo out, and we're on a bus with fucking Biohazard in Europe, and it was fucking amazing. So we got to know them then, and then maybe within the next year, we're both playing Hellfest together, and on that tour, they would have people come out and do Hold My Own. Yeah. And they just asked us to do it there in front of a couple thousand American hardcore kids. So that was, that first Biohazard record, the self-titled on Maze, is fucking unbelievable. Not taking anything away from anything else they did, but if you ask me, that's such a fucking hard-hitting record. It's amazing.
Absolutely. Scott Gajewski, any good Hanover House memories?
A couple. The first two that come to mind is Boulder from Hatebreed, rest in peace. We Buried Alive played the I think it was the Death Threat Peace and Security record release show in Boulder, who was in Death Threat, but not at the time, so maybe I'm getting the timeline wrong, but he definitely stage dove, and he was a big motherfucker, and landed on me and ripped my contact lens out of my eye, and I had to survive the Death Threat pit in the tiny little Hanover house with one contact and get back to Buffalo with one contact. That sucked, but was amazing. And I also saw Marauder at the Hanover house once, and it was one of the illest sets I'd ever seen. Because if anyone knows the Hanover house, it's a little tiny shitty bar, and the place where bands played was, I don't know, I'm thinking legally 100 cap, but they probably squeezed 300 people in there sometimes. Yeah. But I saw Marauder in there rip it, and fucking amazing.
Bortnos Sveffer. Greetings from Germany. Terror has always been an inspiration for me. 2 questions. Favorite sneaker and all-time and favorite Hatebreed song.
Okay. Favorite Hatebreed song is probably Beholder of Justice. It's fucking, they have so many good ones. But maybe Smash Your Enemies, Beholder of Justice. Favorite sneaker of all time. I'll have to go with Air Max 1. I really like Stabs. I really like Wildwoods, Humaras, but I'll go with the Air Max 1 as my favorite all-time sneaker.
Fantastic. Oleg D says, Rise of the Poison Youth video is great. The show filmed there, was it in Brazil? Amazing crowd.
It was, I'm almost positive it was in Brazil. I'm 99% sure. It definitely was in South America. I'm almost positive it was Brazil. I think so.
Hey, let me ask you.
Thank you, everyone, for all these. Yep.
Let me ask you, being that you've been all around the world, was there a point like because we always, like Brazil and South America, and like I talked to like Raj from Agnostic Front, for him it's like Russia. Is there any place that you guys went to and you were like, wow, like wow, we're that big here? Is there any kind of place on the planet Earth that like terror, it just blew your mind that like this many kids loves my band here?
Yes. Indonesia is the place that terror headlining has drawn the most people
Wow.
anywhere. With
Wow.
I think we went there. The first time we went there, the first show, there was like 1,200 people came to a fucking terror show in fucking Indonesia. It's insane.
That's that. Are you aware that Vogel is the German word for bird?
I am, and that's why Hoya from Madball calls me the Birdman.
That's great, man. That's great. Let me think. What else? Let me see if I don't want to bring anybody else on and cause havoc. But Steven Messina, our main guy, I just want to show you a couple pictures that Steven took, and I love this one. Queens, New York represent. Steven took this with the Nas shirt on. Queensbridge Projects represent. So I think talking about sort of the,
that's a picture, but that guy looks pretty weird.
Yeah. That's a good one, and love Nas. Let me think if I got everything. I mean, at this point, just back to the terror thing. Hold on a sec. Let me get this. You guys have been pretty stable. This lineup has been pretty stable for a while now, right?
The guy there in the white shirt, that's David.
Yes.
He also sings in a band called Down and This lineup here was together for almost maybe 10 years, but David quit the band 2 or 3 years ago, and now we have Chris Linkovich from Cruel Hand playing bass. So in the last 13 years, we've had one band member change, which is pretty fucking crazy.
Yeah, these are all. He's in this one too, right? Yeah.
Let me see. It takes a while for me to load up. Nope, that's the current lineup. The new bass player is over there on my right.
I like how you push these guys in front of you in these pictures. How you they're like your buffer zone. I like that. Yeah, man.
It's funny because Martina, he always tries to get me in the middle and do the proper frontman thing, and I'm like, and when we play like a bigger, more professional show and we have like intro music, I'll try to like go out on stage, like you're supposed to wait and be the last one on stage. So it's like, oh wow, there's the singer. I'll try to go out first because I just don't like that vibe, and he'll like literally get in my way, be like waiting. I'm like, I don't want to wait.
Here's one from our buddy Upstate Rick. Great fucking show. I met you 12 years ago. It was a fun night. You were backstage watching Yankees versus Boston with the guys from Bane, and you guys had a bet fun night. Okay. All right. How many football jerseys do you own? Good. How many football jerseys do you own? Many repped on your videos. Any favorite ones?
Yes, I'm going to show you my favorite one. It's right here. Oops. Oh, shit. I'm in the wrong room. I'm in the wrong room. You want me to go get it, or you want to keep the show going?
No, go get it.
Check.
Hey, listen, we're playing for keeps here, kids. And you know what? We're fighting our way through the technical difficulties. It seems like we've found a comfortable sweet spot, you know, with the lag and everything. So thanks for hanging with us on this one. You know,
All right.
they all can't be absolute. What do we got here? Hold on. Let's see. All right, let's see
This
it.
is a time given to me by Ant Money himself, the one and only.
Awesome. Nice. Hey, let's talk a little bit. Let's talk. I like the Pillars of Ivory. I like the Pillars of Ivory sweatshirt, bro.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's our boy Jay Peter from Mind Force.
Yep, and Aaron from Death Threat. Very cool.
Yep. Hey, let's talk just real quick as we're heading down the home stretch. You guys put out Total Retaliation a couple years ago. Anything on the docket now as far as new music goes for Terror?
Yeah, like I said, tonight we're gonna write some more stuff. So we've been staying really busy. I'd say we've got 2/3 of a record done, written, and we plan on getting into the studio sometime before the summer and hopefully having a new record completed when hopefully shows start up. We'll have something new to drop on everybody.
Fantastic. Hey, man, I know we struggled a little bit, but I just want to thank you for your time and thank you for coming on the show. You know, when you get that desktop or laptop computer, you're coming back, bro.
Thank you for having me. Sorry about the phone, and yeah, it seems like you got a really cool thing going on, and maybe if I've got a better setup, we can do it again.
Anybody you want to shout out on the way home?
Just anyone that took their time to actually go out of their way to put this time aside because they wanted to see what I had to say or whatever like that, and you for having me on. So, I mean, I'm very lucky to be able to do this. So anyone that supports me and my music and gets something out of my lyrics and takes time out of their day to see me talk means the world to me. So thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Scott. I'll talk to you soon, man.
Okay. Have a good one, everyone. Bye.
Well, there you go. It's the New York Hardcore Chronicles Live. Our guest today was Scott Vogel. Thank you for hanging in there. Hey, look, who's left out there? How about you, Busky? What's up?
Hey,
bro?
I'm here. I'm here. Am I the only one?
Yeah. Who else is out there? Hey, what's up, Messina?
What's up?
There he is.
How you doing?
I'm good. I did 6 miles during the show.
I'm sorry I didn't bring you on when he was
I know.
on.
I know he would have jumped off.
Well, yeah, so it got weird. How about you, Scandato? What's up with you?
What's going on? I'm hanging in there, man. It was a good one.
We are the survivors.
That's
we
it.
made
The old guys. It's all the old guys hanging out.
we made it. Yeah, that was a little bit of a struggle, Busky, but he's you could tell he's a worldly guy at this point. He's been around the globe a couple times, and whatever kind of stuff might have been whatever was an irritant back in the day. All the sharp edges have been buffed down a little bit. I think
Yeah, for sure, definitely. But the funny thing is that guy has been the same personality from 1990, whatever, when I met him until today. That's literally the same personality, same jokes, same mannerisms, So that was a great episode. Thanks for having me on, for sure.
Yeah, well, listen, you're a part of this thing, man, and you're designing the A7 package, and we're all excited about it. And
Hell yeah,
you play a maximum penalty. You're a part of this. Hey, did you see the Joe Appy show we did? Come on.
I did. I watched it. I tuned in, of course.
Yeah, it was great. Joe was
he
great.
He looks woolier than me.
Yeah, I'm not used to seeing you with glasses, Busky. Or Affy with glasses, actually.
Yeah, well, this is what happens when you age, right?
True, very true. Mine are not on. I didn't put mine on.
Yeah, it was great, man.
Yeah, for sure.
But cool. So there you go. I'm heading back to New York tomorrow. I'm going to get back in the command center. But yo, once again, Scandato, your fucking track kills on the comp, man. I love it.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. I can't wait for everybody to hear it, man. It's one of our favorites. So, and I can't wait to see what it's going to look like, Busky.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Yeah,
I can't. I would, if it's at all possible, I would love to get copies of the songs to listen to while I'm designing. To be honest,
I'll get you that. I'll get you that, Busk. I'll get you that.
Yeah, I really look forward to hearing the comp, mainly because there's so many bands that I think I'm going to get turned on to. So, cool. And I'm looking forward to hearing all the bands, that I do know their new tracks. So,
yeah, Busk, I have that. You should have asked. I'll send you that.
All right, cool.
Hey,
Sounds
Steven
good.
Messina, you want to shout anybody out?
No, I'm good. No, I got no one to shout out today. I'm shouting these guys out. This is
I'm all shouted out. I'm all shouted out.
I'm all
Shout it
shouted
out
out.
loud.
Shout it out loud. All right. Hey, Busky, I'll see you later.
Sounds good. Later, guys.
Yeah, Busky. Bye, Steve.
Scandato, I'll see you later.
Yes, thank you, man. Take care, everybody. Be well. Be safe. Cheers.
Okay. Messina, what can I say? You and me, you're all alone now. You're all alone now, Wales.
Hey, you know what? You know what I was going to ask? What if I was able to get on? Have you ever? I don't know if you've heard this story, but from what I heard, Terror got their name from they had like an opportunity to play before the band was actually named, and I believe he got the name from a Sheer Terror video cassette that he had. That he looked and he was like, "How about Terror?" And I think that I bet you Chucky would know.
You still out there, Chucky? If you're still out there, Chucky, let us know.
Chucky's like the Google of hardcore.
Yeah. Let's see. When the COVID thing dies down, a music video or two for the comp would be great. Listen, looks like the COVID thing. By the way, the COVID thing might be dying down a little bit because my dad, Arnie Stone, today we brought him to the VA, and he got a COVID vaccine today. Yep,
that's awesome.
So Dad, Arnie Stone got jabbed today, got the vaccine. Hopefully it doesn't set off a whole domino effect of other things, but
Now he has to go back in 3 weeks, right? I think it's like a first shot. Then he's
got to go back. He's got to go back for another shot in 3 weeks. But
they wouldn't zap you while you were there.
Me? No, my brother went. I had to build the show. My brother Evan went. I couldn't go. When it's a show day, dude, I can't do anything.
See that? People gotta respect that. You passed up the vaccine.
There you go. Well, isn't that appropriate for today? Isn't that appropriate for today's show? There you go. But no, I didn't pass up the vaccine. And when it's a show day, man, I got to work all day on the show. Oh, there he is. No, when it's a show day, I can't do nothing. I can't even hump my girlfriend.
I think that's cool. I think that's I'm going to get my chance.
All right, that's it. You're done. You're done. Anyway, thanks a lot, everybody. Coming up on Wednesday, which I think is inauguration day, right? So hopefully there's not lunacy going on during the show, like when we had Jesse Leach on and they were storming the Capitol. But thanks, everybody. And I'll see you on Wednesday for Sean Taggart. Hopefully the world is not in flames. Shout it, shout it, shout it out loud. Do good things, and good things will come to you. We'll see you soon. Thanks.